But first, video of a Rebel News commentator is going viral after he was arrested while questioning Chrystia Freeland in York Region yesterday. The R.C.M.P officer who grabbed David Menzies was quick to say he was being charged with assault. The incident is sparking outrage online, from Canada's opposition leader all the way to Elon Musk.
You're under arrest for assault. Why are you pushing me? You're under arrest for assault.
Whether you're a fan of David Menzies or not, it's hard to believe he was arrested after watching this video seen by millions. It all started with a simple and relevant question.
Ms. Freeland, how come the IRGC is not a terrorist group?
The Deputy Prime Minister walking into the memorial service for Canadians killed after the Islamic Revolutionary Guard shot down Flight PS 752 4 years ago. Courts ruling it was an act of terrorism, but the federal Liberals have yet to list the IRGC as a terrorist organization. Outside the memorial, the drama continued.
I was just scrumming Chrystia Freeland.
I'm a police officer. You're under arrest.
What is your name and your badge number?
Assaulting a police officer.
How is that possible?
Another man began providing some kind of explanation to Menzies.
You were almost pushing everybody over. That's how it appears.
Lincoln, you got this on video, right? He's saying I'm pushing people over?
Yeah,
that's an absolute falsehood.
There were feet were shuffling.
So now it appeared that way. That's what you're saying, officer?
Well,
it appeared I was pushing people. I didn't touch a single person.
That was a little bit aggressive for what was happening. Get that. You're under arrest. Please take the microphone out of my face.
Well,
but within seconds, the Rebel News commentator was up against a wall and placed under arrest.
Why am I under arrest? I'm just doing my job.
York Regional Police, who are seen in the video, are telling Trending Now the arrest was made by the Prime Minister's R.C.M.P security detail. They say, quote, "It was determined that no credible security threat existed, and the subject was released unconditionally shortly thereafter."
Welcome to Black Faces Canada. This is what they do to journalists.
The R.C.M.P telling Trending Now they are looking into the incident and the actions of all parties involved.
This is now a trumped-up charge of assault, folks. I didn't come here to cause any trouble. I came here to do my job, and now I'm handcuffed. This is your Canada now, folks.
The video going so viral, it was even seen by Elon Musk. He took to X, referring to the Liberals and saying they won't make it past the next election.
So I just came here to ask questions.
You're going to have to back up a little bit, okay? They're conducting an
That's my cameraman, sir. He's not doing anything.
Conservative MP Anna Roberts writing, "The same reporter questioned me at the same event, and I didn't need him to be arrested." While Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre reposted the video with the message, "This is the state of freedom of the press in Canada in 2024, after 8 years of Trudeau." But this isn't Menzies' first run-in with the R.C.M.P and police in general.
What is this? You cannot touch me.
In 2021, he was apprehended by Trudeau's security team in Toronto. In that same year, he was arrested after an encounter with Deputy Conservative leader Melissa Lantsman.
Place you under arrest for assault.
And he was also removed from a campaign stop for then Conservative leader Andrew Scheer in 2019. While it's still unclear why the R.C.M.P decided to arrest Menzies Monday, it's reopened the question: who is a journalist in Canada, and who makes that determination? In 2021, a federal court judge ordered the Leaders Debate Commission to permit reporters from Rebel News Network to cover the televised debates. Tonight, we're talking with Ivor Shapiro, professor and former chair of the School of Journalism at Toronto Metropolitan University. Professor Shapiro, you've seen the video. Do you think this reporter was treated fairly here?
So, Nicole, there are two questions tied up there. One is, should a person be arrested for assault for walking down the street and doing what this person did on camera? And the second thing is he a reporter? Is this person a reporter? The first question, I don't have any expertise on. You and anyone else can make their own judgments on that. But the second question is a real problem. And it's a real problem for us in Canada because we have steadfastly refused to engage with the problem of distinguishing journalists from others. But then we have steadfastly claimed the freedom of the press when journalists are not given certain privileges that we believe journalists should have in doing the job that we believe is a public service. That's a real problem, and I think we're getting to the point now when we're going to have to engage with that problem in Canada.
Now, speaking specifically about Rebel News, we know Prime Minister Trudeau has once said that he wouldn't call Rebel News a media organization, but do you believe it is?
That question, it's really easy for one to say, oh, these guys are clearly right-wing advocates, right? Well, they clearly are, and they probably would agree with that. But then, if you're an advocate, are you necessarily not a journalist? And if so, where is the dividing line? You see, I think the only possible, you don't want prime ministers deciding, or leaders of the opposition. The Tory party recently refused credentials to a journalist to attend a scrum at one of their conferences, right? So is that okay? Can politicians, or anyone else for that matter, make a distinction, says in journalists, you're a journalist, you come in, and you're not a journalist, you stay out? Do we want that in our country? If we think that journalists should have any kind of privileges of access, or of keeping their sources confidential, or of public funding, who is a journalist? And how do we decide?
These are some big questions. So will it be up to the Canadian public to decide?
So it's not the first time that Rebel News has pushed its way into this discussion about who is a journalist. There was the issues around the scrums in the two election debates, two federal election debates, the past two federal elections, where they were denied accreditation to be part of those scrums, and they appealed, and the federal court found in their favor both times, for precisely this reason, that we in Canada have absolutely no way of making that distinction. If we watch that video all the way to the end, you see the guy, just ranting in a way that advocates rant for their positions. You couldn't mistake that for a journalist, I don't think, in the normal sense of the word, right? But if he's recognizable as an advocate of that kind, you can see the problem. But now, of course, the cops have gotten themselves right back into their position that they had with Amber Bracken and with Rebel News before. And, there's this part of me that actually sympathizes with the police in their duty to kind of monitor the freedom of the press.
An interesting conversation, Professor Shapiro. Thank you for being with us on Trending Now.
Very welcome, Nicole. Take care.